Hello and welcome back to our channel, Shine Like a Diamond Initiative. Today we are back again and accompanied by a very special guest, another special guest of us. Her name is Jenny. She will tell us more about herself. But today we're going to cover more on speech, because I know there's so many children out there who don't have a speech. There are so many who either have delayed speech or are nonverbal. So it depends on where the spectrum is. And we're also going to dig in a little bit about the challenges that come through in terms of communication back and forth. So they do find a bit of challenge when it comes to that. So if we're going to be able to get help by Jenny, that would be really, really good, because I know most of you out there are struggling with that. So Jenny, welcome to the channel. And I know your boy, you've done amazing work with your boy. So we want to know a little bit more about you.
Okay, I'm an older lady who had a late child and was diagnosed with autism just before he started school. And through school, he's had so many challenges, and the school wasn't up to having him in the school to start with. And then all through primary, he wasn't getting the support that he needed. So a lot of his life, I started to do a lot of things for him from different levels and the next stages of his life. Went to secondary school, and there wasn't a lot. To start with, he had a lovely lady for 2 years, and he was great with her. She knew of him and how they all proceeded in their lives. And then she was taken out of the school, and then he came out of school with no other teacher teaching him. And he then went to college, where he really, really blossomed well and did different skills at college, life skills and different tasks to get him through life. And then he blossomed again, and he then became a lifeguard. And he has developed lots of skills in that and done a lot with other people, as opposed to just being with the people that he knows.
Well done. I will say something for parents out there who don't seem to think their children will amount to nothing, because a lot of people do tend to say, oh, they won't have any skills or they won't develop what they're going to be in future. But this right here is what I call success story, because you start from somewhere where you yourself don't even have the right skills to work with your own child. Then you don't get help. Every door you knock, you don't get the help you're supposed to need. But you keep soldiering on and soldiering on. And what Jenny has achieved is what we want parents to know. Give your child an opportunity. Keep pushing, because as Jenny's son has done, we can also get there, especially when they are younger and you have the sensory issues, the overload, and especially when they are limited speech. Sometimes you can't see what they can become. But as Jenny says, you just have to keep going. And towards the end of the day, to see where Jenny is, it gives me goosebumps, honestly, because it has been a journey. But at the end of it, look at this lady. She's managed to have a beautiful career, very successful one in that case. And then this, of course, being a full-time mom as well has not been easy, but she has managed to get there. So Jenny, by the time your son was in primary, that's when you really, really had the struggles, because the teachers didn't seem to have the right knowledge to be able to help with the condition that you had. Did anyone, apart from the one I think who really helped you, every time you went to ask questions, were you getting the information you needed to help you with your son?
No. No, they didn't want my son in the school to start with. Noise and everything really got to him. Couldn't handle all the noise. They decided then to put a chair and table into the corridor, and the teacher was to teach all the children in the class, plus look after my son, who was a wanderer, didn't have any fear, would just get up and wander around the school. Then they thought, well, that's not practical. So they ended up putting him in a room which they partitioned off, which if you'd seen the place itself, you would have literally slit your wrists. It was that depressing. And again, the teacher had to come out of the classroom to make sure that my son was doing all his lessons and things like that. And then the year after that, 2 more children came with autism. So they then had to make room for 3 children then who had autism, which helped a bit, but there wasn't the education for him at primary at all. And when he left primary, they said he wouldn't make anything of himself at all, because he never sat and listened to the teachers, which, was funny because my son could tell you word for word everything that my son was doing and what she was saying. He was able to tell me what it was all about, but they were adamant they wouldn't make anything of himself.
Yeah. So I know most of you go through this where the people who are supposed to support you, the people who are supposed to help you be able to move from one step to another with your child are the same one who tell you there is no hope out there. So you yourself have to find a place to be so strong to cope with this without no help around you. So to hear Jenny's story where someone can put a child in a corridor because they don't belong in a class where the other children are in class. See, this is where the society itself fails, because by doing that, you're also teaching the children in the class that this child doesn't have equal rights. And then this kind of continues within the community and it goes back and forth. So what chances would someone like Jenny or any parent that has got a kid have when the community does that? But thankfully, Jenny continued to fight for this child, and at least they started having a bit of hope and they started listening. But it is still was not easy, was it?
No. Once he went out of primary school, then into secondary school, for every part of my son's life, I would teach him how to go from, like primary school into secondary school, to say that, the people that he went to primary with wouldn't be the children that he would have in secondary school. So I had to teach him that there'll be different people and, treat them differently and things like that. First couple of years in secondary school, we had a lovely teacher who knew all the children with autism, get on great, absolutely fabulous lady. And on the second year, just before they came off on holiday, they decided to put her up to a different school, but didn't tell the children, which was quite heartbreaking for them because they couldn't cope with, not knowing what they were going to get when they came back.
Yeah.
And when they came back, they never really had a teacher that was skilled enough to teach all the children how to, go through their lives and things. And then, as I say, once he'd left secondary school, went to college, and my son blossomed.
Excellent. Really good. So you can imagine how far Jenny had to go from being from primary to secondary to now where all of a sudden this young man is becoming the person he is. So for now, we're going to leave it there. Please join us on the next step where we're going to continue this discussion with Jenny, and hopefully we can learn a thing or two and be able to help each other. So thank you very much for watching. We're back again soon as possible, and we're going to continue advocating for special needs. Thank you very much.